Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking you way beyond the usual tourist snapshots. We're going right into the real living story of Phi, the famous Thai archipelago. We all know those images, don't we? The impossibly green limestone cliffs, that super white sand, the turquoise water. It's iconic. But our mission today is to understand what's really going on beneath the surface, ecologically and culturally. We're diving deep into its complex past, the mix of cultures, and the huge conservation challenges facing this group of 6 islands, especially Phi Phi Don and Phi Phi.
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? Phi Phi's beauty is just undeniable, globally famous.
Yeah.
But if you look a bit closer, you find this really fragile environment and a pretty intense human history. It's shaped by all these different groups. Thai, Chinese, Malay influences are all in there. Understanding that pressure, the sheer popularity, is key to understanding Phi Phi today.
Okay, let's unpack this then, starting right at the beginning. Who lived here first? Because I hear even the name Phi Phi tells a story.
It really does. The name Phi Phi, it's actually not originally Thai. It comes from the Malay name Pulau Piap.
Pulau Piapi.
Yeah, which probably meant something like island of mangrove forests. Or maybe it relates to Pokak Api Api, which means the fiery tree, the gray mangrove. It grows all over there. Administratively, the islands belong to Krabi province, sitting there in the Andaman Sea.
And the very first people, the foremost residents, they're the Chale, the people of the sea.
That's right. Specifically, we're talking about the Aleks.tourist tribe. They've been sailing these waters for, over 300 years. And they've lived permanently on the islands for at least a century, probably more.
Wow, a century before it became, widely settled.
Exactly. They have this unique semi-nomadic lifestyle, totally centered on the sea. Their whole world revolves around fishing, deep knowledge of the marine environment. They even have their own languages, Urak, Lawoi, and Moken. It just shows how ancient and sea-connected this culture is.
Okay, wait. So if the Chale were the originals, how did the Thai Malays become the main settlers later on? That seems like a really important shift.
It is. It's crucial. Phi Phi Don, which is the biggest island, the one people live on now, it was settled later by Thai Malays. These were fishermen initially, who then, around the 1940s, started becoming coconut planters.
Oh, okay.
And interestingly, the population back then was like 80% Muslim. But due to later migration and cultural shifts, today Buddhists were actually the majority.
Yeah.
But that cultural fabric, it's definitely woven from all 3 influences, Thai, Chinese, and Malay.
What's fascinating here is how it's still this melting pot despite the shifts. You can really see that blend in the spirituality and the festivals, can't you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Buddhism is the main religion today, sure, and the temples are super important. They're like social and cultural hubs. But alongside that, the Chale maintain their own very distinct ancient beliefs.
So you have the temples as the social core, but the Chale believe in spirits, like in the sea, the land, even in homes. Do those worlds clash, or?
They mostly coexist, actually. Sometimes aspects even blend. The Chale have practices to appease these spirits. It's ongoing. The most visible and really quite moving example is their annual rite, Loi Rue Chale.
Loi Rue Chale.
The sea gypsy boat floating event. They build these small, really intricate boats and set them adrift on the sea. It's a way of asking the spirits for good luck, for health. It's this profound act of spiritual renewal for their community.
And for visitors, I guess this deep culture shows up in the big festivals too, like Loy Krathong.
Oh, definitely. Loy Krathong, the Festival of Lights in November, is huge. Locals release these beautiful little floating baskets, the krathongs, decorated with flowers and candles, onto the water to honor the water spirits. It's stunning.
And then there's the complete opposite vibe with Songkran.
Right. Thai New Year in April. That's famous for the massive, exuberant water fights. Everyone gets involved. For locals, it's seen as a time of cleansing, renewal, washing away the old year. And you also have the Phi Phi Island boat event itself, celebrating that deep connection to the ocean with boat races and parades, flags everywhere.
That blending, that melting pot, it clearly influenced the food too, making it world class. But that fame, that's where the paradox really kicks in, isn't it? Before we get to the challenges though, let's talk food. Thai cuisine is famous for hitting all 5 tastes, right? Sweet, sour, bitter, salty, spicy.
And that incredible complexity is all down to the island's history. You can taste the influences from, say, Southern Chinese immigrants. There's a story about a Buddhist monk bringing Indian spices over. Then later you get layers from European traders, Muslim influences, Japanese, Dutch, It's like the ultimate foodie collaboration happening right there on the plate.
We all know the big names like Tom Yum Goong, Pad Thai, Sum Tum Salad. But what dishes are really specific to Phi Phi that reflect that unique local mix?
Okay, yeah. You really have to seek out the local stuff, especially dishes connected to the chow lei. Try and find Krang Phu Khao, that's a really rich, local-style seafood curry.
Krang Phu Khao. Got it.
And also Khao Mork. It's this fragrant rice dish, kind of like a biryani, often served with local fish or maybe chicken. These dishes, they taste specifically the Andaman coast, you know.
And the best place to find this authentic stuff, maybe on a budget, is it that market in Tonsai Village?
Oh, absolutely. The Phi market in Tonsai, it's usually buzzing from about 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. You gotta go.
Okay.
It's the best way to just dive into local life. And the prices are like ridiculously good. Skewers starting around 15 bait. It's just a fantastic way to immerse yourself. I know that the sources mentioned sometimes you might have to use a bit of sign language, but hey, that's part of the experience, right?
Yeah, I can picture myself trying to mime what I want to eat, maybe flapping my arms like a chicken. But honestly, for 15 baht and an authentic taste, sounds like it's worth the potential embarrassment. A great way to support locals, too. Okay, shifting gears now to, well, the event that really put Phi Phi on the global stage, maybe not entirely positively at first. Around 2000, the movie The Beach.
Yeah, that film undeniably catapulted the islands, especially Maya Bay on Phi Phi Lei, into global consciousness. But the filming itself caused a huge controversy. There were claims from locals and environmental groups that the film crew actually uprooted native plants and sort of terraformed parts of the beach on Phi Phi Lei to match the book's description better. It was this really stark early warning sign about the clash between, Hollywood ideals and the actual fragile reality of these places.
And then, just a few years later, came something truly unimaginable. The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, December 26th. It's still hard to comprehend the scale of it. Nearly 4,000 people lost across the islands. 70% of the buildings just gone.
Utter devastation. But the recovery effort that followed, it speaks volumes about the spirit of the place. The community basically had to rebuild everything from scratch. An organization called Help Phi Phi, or I-Phi-Phi, sprang up almost immediately in January 2005.
I-Phi-Phi?
Yeah, and they managed to mobilize thousands of volunteers, about 3,500 backpackers who just stayed or came to help clear tons and tons of debris, rebuild infrastructure. It was incredible.
And that effort got global recognition, didn't it? A Time magazine Heroes of Asia nomination. They also helped get the tsunami warning system installed. Just amazing resilience.
Absolutely. But that fight, that spirit, it didn't just stop with rebuilding structures. Now, they're in this constant struggle to protect the very environment they rebuilt, but this time from human pressures. Over-tourism, pollution, the damage to the coral reefs. Which brings us back, sadly, to the chow lei.
Right. This is where it gets really complicated, ethically. Because the economic boom, driven by tourism, tends to favor big investors, big developments. And that's unfortunately meant that some chow lei communities, the original inhabitants, have actually lost their homes, their traditional fishing grounds.
Exactly. Their ancestral connection is being pushed aside.
Yeah.
And that's why these sustainable solutions are just so critical. There's cooperative research happening, like with Chulalongkorn University, looking at ways to strengthen the indigenous cultural moats, and importantly, create tourism models that actually benefit them.
Like that take a tour with Moken idea.
Precisely. Initiatives like that aim to bring the indigenous people directly into the tourism economy as guides, valuing their unique knowledge and culture rather than displacing it.